problem we have, you forgive me on this, but this is not me talking, these are the stats. We have a problem with the black man in South Africa. We have a serious problem.
One of the biggest problems in corporate South Africa is that a lot of young black men in their early 20s, mid 20s, they're not being hired. These big companies that actually pay well, they're not hiring young black men. It's either they're hiring young black women, like women in general, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to say that. And if they're hiring guys, it's only maybe colored guys, Indian guys, or white guys. But young black men are not being hired, and it's something that I'm just failing to understand. What is the reason behind it? Why aren't you hiring young black men? Some young black men are actually even qualified. They went to varsity, they have degrees and certificate qualifications, but they're not being hired. If you check where most young black men are working, they're either working in retail or in factories. It's like young black South African men are not supposed to be successful, are not supposed to be wealthy. It's like we as young black South African men, we deserve to struggle. And I'm asking myself this question because I haven't seen any youth empowering program that is aimed at empowering young black men. The only youth empowering programs I see, it's ones that are aimed at empowering young women. Most companies, when they do these programs, they mostly hire young women or young black women, and that is fine. But what about the young black men in this country? What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to starve? Are we supposed to be poor? Are we supposed to work odd jobs? Are we supposed to not be successful? Are we supposed to just sit there and become security guards and just work in retail and become Uber drivers and drive motorcycles? Because also, if you take notice, because I do Bolt now. I do Bolt and I have my own small little business where I do flowers. So when I deliver my flowers or do Bolts around townhouses in Gauteng, most of the people that request or most people that stay there, it's young black women. Young black women. Black guys, there's not that many. And I'm failing to understand as to why aren't black young men being hired? Why aren't they given the opportunity to actually make their lives better? Are we supposed to struggle? Is that what's happening? This is not right, and it needs to change.
Corporate South Africa is empowering women, especially black women, in ways that would have been unimaginable a few decades ago. But as we address one inequality, are we creating another? Are young black men being sidelined in the right to make progress? Or is this just an illusion created by frustration? Let's break it down. Welcome back to Inkarhi Its Time. Today we're tackling a controversial but necessary topic: corporate hiring practices that some say are prioritizing women, especially black women, at the expense of young black men. Is this true? Or is it just the imagination of frustrated young men? And what might be the unintended consequences of this focus on gender? Let's dive deep into the facts and separate myth from reality. There's no question that many companies across South Africa are prioritizing women in hiring and leadership development. These efforts aim to correct the historical disadvantages women, particularly black women, have faced in male-dominated industries. But here's where things get complicated. Some argue that in this push to empower women, young black men are being left out. With youth unemployment already at crisis levels, young black men are feeling the impact. They aren't lacking talent or qualifications, yet many struggle to secure positions in corporate environments. Could this focus on women be part of the problem? Or is this narrative being overstated? Let's take a closer look at the numbers. According to stats from the second quarter of 2021, unemployment among women was actually 8.1% higher than among men, and women only made up 43% of total employment. Of those in managerial positions, nearly 67% were men, compared to just over 33% being women. These numbers show that men, including young black men, still dominate many key sectors. Furthermore, while women dominate positions like domestic work, clerical, and technical roles, men still hold the majority in higher paying sectors such as trade jobs. The data doesn't fully support the idea that women are overtaking men in corporate spaces. However, that doesn't mean young black men aren't feeling the pressure. This reality is more nuanced than it seems. While corporate South Africa is making strides in empowering women, young black men still face barriers that can't be ignored. The challenge isn't that one group is being left behind, it's that both groups have unique struggles that need to be addressed. Ignoring this could lead to the same economic marginalization for young men that women have worked so hard to overcome.
A lot of activities happening in and around this district. 40% in this past financial year, 40% of our cases are coming from here. So if you can deal with the Teguinis problem, followed by Mgungundlovu, we will have won the war. So it's more peaceful to live at Mzinyati district, to live at Herikwala district, to live at Umkhanyakude district, than to live at Teguini. So these are the stats, and these are the biggest, this Teguini district, Mgungundlovu, they account for the biggest number of informal settlements that we have. The biggest number of liquor outlets, biggest number of all the wrong things, unemployment, kids that are dropping out of school and they wander on the street and they commit crime. They are all within this Teguini district. So we need to identify what the problem is and how then do we fix it going forward. Our perpetrators, Premier, we felt we must put this light so that we can identify what is our problem, because we need to analyze what is the problem. The problem we have, you forgive me on this, but this is not me talking, these are the stats. We have a problem with the black man in South Africa. We have a serious problem. What we see here, we put the colors, the races of perpetrators that we've arrested. All the green, as you can see, almost everything is green here, which means almost everything is black that is committing crime. Out of total of 60,000 cases, criminals that were arrested between the age of 16 and 25 years old, 16 and 25 years old, we arrested 60,000 criminals in this past financial year, in this period of 5 years, I beg your pardon, not in financial year, this 5-year period that we are counting. Out of this number, 57,691 of them were black men. Out of 60,000, 57,000 of them are black men that we've arrested.
So what's the solution? Balance. Corporate South Africa must adopt policies that empower both women and men. It's not about competing for opportunities. It's about creating a workplace where both genders can thrive. If you are in a position of influence, it's time to rethink your hiring practices. For young men and women, speak out and demand fairness in employment opportunities. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Inkarhi Its Time, where we continue to unpack the critical issues shaping our future.